Step 6. We're entirely ready to have God remove all these defects of character. Now I know what you might be thinking. Defects of character? That sounds a little harsh, right? But stick with me, because this step is all about growth, healing, and preparing ourselves for real change. Step 6 is where we take everything we've learned about ourselves in steps 4 and 5 and say, okay, I'm ready to let go of what's holding me back. It's not about beating ourselves up for our flaws. It's about recognizing that we're human, and we all have areas where we can grow. Think of it like cleaning out an old closet. You've identified what's in there, maybe some old habits, resentments, or fears. Now you're ready to clear out the clutter to make room for something better. But here's the thing. Step 6 isn't about fixing ourselves overnight. It's about being ready to change. And that readiness is a process. Let's break this down a bit. What does it mean to be entirely ready? For many of us, this step can feel a little scary. Letting go of old patterns, even the unhealthy ones, can be tough because they've become so familiar. Maybe it's pride that's kept us from asking for help, or fear that's held us back from taking risks. Maybe it's anger that's damaged our relationships. But here's the good news. Step 6 isn't about doing the heavy lifting ourselves. It's about surrendering our will and trusting that a higher power, whatever that means to you, can help us transform. It's about saying, I can't do this alone, but I'm ready to let go and let my higher power guide me. So how do we actually work Step 6? It starts with honesty and willingness. We take a deep breath, look at our defects, whether it's pride, anger, selfishness, or fear, and say, I'm ready to let these go. But here's a key point. Readiness doesn't mean perfection. It's okay if you're not 100% there yet. Maybe you're only 60% ready, or even 30%. That's still progress. The important thing is that you're opening the door to change. One way to practice this step is through prayer or meditation. You might say something like, Higher power, I'm ready to let go of my anger. Help me release it and replace it with peace. Or, help me move past my fear and take the next right step. It's about inviting your higher power into the process. Step 6 is also a reminder that we're not perfect. And that's okay. Our defects don't define us. What matters is that we're willing to grow. And as we work this step, we start to see how letting go of these old patterns frees us to live more fully and connect more deeply with others. For example, maybe you've struggled with selfishness. As you work Step 6, you might find yourself becoming more generous. Not because you're forcing it, but because you've made room for it in your heart. Or maybe you've carried resentment for years. As you let go of that resentment, you might feel a sense of peace you haven't felt in a long time. Let me share a quick story. One member of AA, let's call her Sarah, struggled with perfectionism for years. She was always hard on herself, and it kept her from truly connecting with others. When she got to Step 6, she realized how much her perfectionism was holding her back. She wasn't sure if she was ready to let it go, but she prayed for willingness. Over time, she started to notice small changes. She became more forgiving of herself and others. She started to laugh more and worry less. It wasn't overnight, but Step 6 was the turning point that set her on a new path. So, if you're working Step 6, take it one day at a time. Be gentle with yourself and trust the process. Remember, you're not alone on this journey. Together, we're learning to let go of what no longer serves us and stepping into a brighter, more authentic version of ourselves.